Hey YouTube. So what I'm about and PSXDev .net. So what I'm going to show you guys is a cool little mod for the original PlayStation. Um, Now most people they hear mod they think, oh, homebrew. It enables homebrew, backups, imports, yada yada yada. Well, this mod does have homebrew in mind. It does not actually enable it. So you do have to have another method of booting said homebrew. This does also work with retail games, but the results are kind of spotty. What I've actually done, I did not come up with this myself. I will put a link in the description to the tutorial that I followed. This exploit was found by others many, many years ago. I just never got around to trying it. So essentially, what I did was I overclocked the original PlayStation. Now, hear me out here. Um, you may have heard the term overclocking in terms of computers before, and you think, oh, great, you can increase the performance of your original PlayStation just like a computer. However, you got to keep something in mind. Um, when PC games are made, they are designed with all sorts of different hardware configurations in mind, and they're able to kind of accommodate, lower specs, higher specs, stuff like that. When console games are made, they're generally made with the already predetermined specs of that platform in mind, which don't generally change. Um, so what happens when you overclock is sometime a game console, it the console doesn't really know what to do with the not the console, the software itself, like the games and stuff, doesn't always know how to handle that higher clock speed, or whatever the case may be that you've changed. Um, so sometimes it can have undesired results. Um, so basically, normally the original PlayStation runs at 33 megahertz. Um, it uses a processor that's based on what used to be in a lot of old Amiga computers. It's kind of similar to a 486, but with more registers to work with. It's somewhat related to the PowerPC architecture, but it's something called MIPS. It's a little bit different, but um, anyways. So the PlayStation, the CPU itself does usually run stock at 33 megahertz. However, the clock pulse that ultimately goes into it is originally 66 megahertz, and it gets dropped down to 33 through a frequency divider circuit. So what I did, again, not I didn't come up with this or anything, but I was the one. I mean, I just followed a tutorial by others do this. So basically, in a nutshell, I bypassed because there's no way to control the clock speed with software on a console like the PlayStation. There's just no way to control that. So the frequency divider circuit that actually slows down the clock speed by about half. Um, what you do is you take the clock pulse at its 66 megahertz, and you literally just bypass that frequency divider circuit completely and put it in directly, feed it into the CPU at 66 megahertz. Um, this has resulted in graphical issues and stuff with certain games, but for the most part, it's not bad. The main reason one would do this is for homebrew development, stuff like that. Just because it gives you a little more horsepower to play with, which is nice. Um, but again, some emulators run fine with it, some not so fine. But I have some homebrew here, some retail games and stuff, because I just want to show you guys what's going on with it. Now, kind of show you how it works. So, um, most people who achieve this mod go ahead and install a switch so they can switch between the stock speed for the retail games and the stock speed and the overclock speed for when they're doing homebrew or whatever, um, to avoid any conflicts. Me, I was impatient. I don't have any switches that would work for that on me, so there are a couple. Don't have heart failure, but there's a couple of Radio Shacks in my area that are actually still in business. Um, yeah, I know. Anyways, but instead of going to one of those and picking up the Switch like a rational person, I just went ahead and did the mod without the Switch. The graphical issues and whatnot don't really bother me. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you guys. I got a big stack of games and homebrew and other things. Some I've already tested prior to this video, some not so much. So I just want to show you guys kind of what it does and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna cut out just for a moment, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so another thing I want to mention real quick, I don't have a mod chip in my PS1 right now. I'm actually just using a boot disk, so for some of the homebrew and my backup games and whatnot, you'll see me using the swap disk. So just ignore that part, I guess. I need to get myself a mod chip. Actually, fun fact, doing this mod, because you have to lift a pin of the CPU and it's extremely fragile, it was actually more difficult than installing a mod chip, even though there's more solder points to make with a mod chip. I've done mod chip installations on several PS1s throughout the over the years, and honestly, this one takes the cake. This is much more difficult. But anyways, I want to fire it up with no disc first. And I apologize, I hope you can see this. I have an old school CRT TV, as you can see. But I'm going to fire it up with no disc just so you can see the OS. It does have color, but it's kind of faded, a little bit fuzzy. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but just so you can see what that looks like. It's kind of hard to tell, but sorry guys. Can't really tell, but anyway, some stuff plays in black and white, some not so much. Some's in color, but it's faded, fuzzy. Another part of the problem is also the GPU, or the graphics processor, is capped at an absolute max of 40 megahertz. So part of the problem is that my processor, the CPU, the brains, is running at 66 megahertz. So it's pushing the GPU, trying to make it run at 66, but it's capped at 40. So the GPU's running at 40, whereas the CPU's running at 60. So they're also out of sync, which accounts for some of the graphical stuff, as well as the software not really knowing what's going on. So the first thing I'm going to test is this piece of homebrew. Many of you who have seen various internet memes will know what this is. Somebody made a PlayStation game out of it. Now, because it's not really a game, but it's just like the website, Nincat. One thing you'll notice here is the audio doesn't work on this guy. That's because I don't have a mod chip. I'm using a boot disk. And some games for the original PlayStation, including like actual legitimate games, they actually use regular CD audio tracks. So when you use a swap disc like this, and you have a game with CD audio tracks, like normal, like an audio CD, this doesn't contain any audio tracks. So because you're swapping the disc without the console knowing it, it really, when you put in the new disc that has those tracks, the console can't actually see them. So the audio's not going to work here. There is a disc that I have to put in between these. My console is an NTSC US. As you can see, this actually, it looks fuzzy to you guys, but that's actually clear as day to me right now. But anyways, I just need to use this special freeware to force the video signal to NTSC, because this is PAL, otherwise it's not going to display right at all. So this one shows up in black and white, this boot disc. It's normally supposed to be like a bluish tint, but I'm just going to force it to NTSC, which is the proper signal. I just put the wrong disc in there. What do I do with it? You guys totally can't see that. That's cool. Hopefully you can see NenCat. But like I said, the audio is not going to work. So, don't be surprised at that one. Yeah, also loading times are very, very quick with the Overclock mod, because it forces the CD-ROM drive to work a lot faster. That's NenCat there. Again, the audio doesn't work. This is showing up in black and white, so this particular homebrew doesn't work too well with it. That's fine. Let's move on to whatever the next disc in my pile is. Okay. Pulling up my boot disc. Oh, another PAL game, Descent 2. I have not tried this one yet, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to have to use the in-between boot disc, the import player light, just to force it to the right video signal. Otherwise it'll roll and do all kinds of weird stuff, because I don't have a European TV. I have no idea if this game works or not with the Overclock mod. Okay. Seems to be loading. It looks like this one's in black and white though, what I can see. So the combination of the software just not expecting it to run at a faster speed, and then the fact that the GPU and CPU are totally out of sync does not help. Let me skip into, see if I can get into the actual game here. But it does load a lot quicker than usual, even on retail games, which is nice. Again, any sane person would want to put a switch in so they can switch between stock and overclocked, which I didn't do, but it's all good. Okay, let's try a new game, because I don't have a memory card right now. I just want to get into the actual game and see if the gameplay itself is... Well, I got a little color there. On the bottom it looked like. Got a little bit of color, it's mostly black and white. I'm just going to skip that. I'm just trying to skip all this stuff and get into the actual game. Yeah, this is all black and white, which is no good. I mean, honestly, it doesn't bother me a whole lot. Some people it would really annoy, and I get that. Doesn't seem to affect the gameplay, though, too much. So that's fine. Next. Next we have Sled Storm for the original PlayStation. I can just pop that in, no boot disc needed, because it's a domestic game, not imported, not backed up. This one actually does display color. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but, you know. There's some color there, too. I know it's hard to see. Sorry, I have a really old TV, and I don't have a video capture device, so... But yeah, this game does have some color to it. faded, but it is there. The little loading icon, which you can't see, is lit up. The text is blue. This game actually does have CD audio on it, but because it's an original, I didn't have to use a swap disc. It actually works. So I'm going to actually go into the game here real quick. This one is pretty much, the color's fine, it's just faded. But the color does work. So this particular game handles it a little bit better. The overclock one. But as you can see, the loading screen is pretty quick. I mean, I have no way of benchmarking anything currently, but my guess would be with the mod, the loading times are cut in half roughly, from what I can tell, without actually comparing it to an unmodded one. But just going from memory, from how it loaded before. Of course, memory can be deceiving, so it could be, could easily be, 75% or 25% faster. I mean, I have no idea without actually running some tests side by side with another unit that's not modded. I really like this game, so I'm going to actually do a full race here. Of course, I'm a little distracted because I'm doing this video. Plus, I mean, who doesn't like to listen to some Rob Zombie? Trying to remember how to do tricks. That's what that thing that keeps popping up on the screen is. But I can't remember how to do them. Oh, I got one. Alright. Second place, not bad. Alright. I know that's really hard to see, but, it's the equipment I have to work with here. But I can assure you there is color there. Alright, on to the next one. So, developer's demo CD. I did actually try this one. The color is there, but it's funky. So, don't believe that one's PAL. So, I don't need the go-between, but I still need the other swap disc. I need the first one, rather. Again, get some color there. Hard to see. So we got color there. Again, it's slightly off, but it is there. So these are various demos that were actually, I believe, released by Sony back in the day. It's just a demo disc of just random stuff.
So this particular demo is in black and white, but the main menu was not. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that. Okay. See, this main menu's in color. This one's in color. This one's in color. Black and white. Oh, that's cool. I can move it around and stuff. Faded color. Can't seem to get out of this one. Okay, here we go. Movie. So we got some color here. It's faded. This is like a full motion video, that old format from back in the day. Common on the first CD-based game systems and whatnot. But yeah, we got color here. And you can tell that the things are loading fairly quickly compared to how it usually does. Emma? It's making a liar out of me now. It's gonna walk up. It does this sometimes with this mod too, because the software doesn't know what's going on. Also, another thing, I'm not really properly cooling the overclocked CPU yet, which I really should be. I gotta find myself a spare heatsink that's lying around that I can plop on top with some thermal paste, because it is running a lot hotter, with the mod, which can cause damage over time. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, it does freeze sometimes like that. Again, part of that's software issue. It just doesn't know what the heck's going on, and the other part of it is, that chip starts running hot and the console just locks up. Next up, Tony Hawk 4. Have not tried this. Yes, there was a really crappy port for the PS1. Why I haven't, I don't know, but I do. It's way better on the PS2. Don't waste your time with the PS1 version, please. Save yourself the agony. Let's see how this goes. Huh. It might not actually read this disc. I don't know what kind of shape it's in. I didn't look at the other side. Yeah, it's not reading it. Well, move on to the next one. Okay, now we have Tony Hawk 3. Another horrible backport. Don't waste your time again. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 were amazing on the original PlayStation, but they did not even try when they backported these from the PS2. It's just awful, awful, awful. And it's a PAL disc, so I'll have to use this go-between here. Looks like this one's gonna load. And that intro video is in black and white. Oh, we got some color here. Some color here. I don't even want to bother playing this one. It's just so awful. I just wanted to see if it worked in color or not. Alright. Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Let's try that. I haven't tried this yet either, at all, so no idea what's going to happen with this one. sure that this one's gonna load either. Oop, there it goes. Intro videos in black and white. Oh, my menu's in color. I think I'm gonna play this one for a little bit. Okay, now we're in black and white again, but that's okay. The audio is skipping. That could be the overclock mod, or it could be that the disc is just not in good shape. I don't have a memory card, so I'm just gonna make my name a bunch of A's. Okay. Waiting for my memory card to come in the mail. 1792, that's the year I was born. Yeah, the videos are kind of skipping too a little bit. That's more likely a result of the overclock mod than anything, because the retail games just aren't expecting to operate at twice the speed, basically. And we're still in black and white, but yeah, very quick loading time, which is nice. Yeah, this audio is awful. I mean, all the other previous games you've seen so far, the audio is actually fine. This particular game, not so much. It all depends on how the game is coded, really.
You don't belong in this world. It was not in my hand, once again, in flesh. I was brought here by humans who wish to pay tribute. Tribute? Use men's soul and make them your slaves.
Looks like the game just broke. Oh, wait, no. It's still going.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill.
Yeah, this is not a good example of a game that works with the Overclock mod very well. I'm gonna toss that aside. Move on to the next one. Okay, this is memory card launch, not made by me, obviously. This is a homebrew program. I can't show you a whole lot with this. All I can do is basically fire it up, because I don't have a memory card, but this is a really cool piece of homebrew, where you load this up with your mod chip or boot disk or whatever, and you can actually launch PlayStation executable files that are stored on your memory card, similar to how you can do it from the PS2 on the PS2 and whatnot. Except here you have to actually have a disk to get it to. It's not like FreeMC Boot where it's automated, and it just pulls up a menu that you can go to. But you have to use this disk because the way the hardware was designed in the PS1. But that was my phone going off. Right. So I don't actually have a memory card, so it's just going to give an error and say, hey, your memory card's not connected. But just to see if the menu's in color or not. So I haven't actually got to use this because I burned this while waiting for my memory card to come in. I lost my old one that I used to have. I cleaned my whole room, can't find it anywhere, so it's gone. Yeah, that one's in black and white, and all it's doing is just telling me, where's your memory card? It's not connected. So nothing special there. Ooh, this next one is actually basic, like as in the programming language. Somebody actually made tiny basic for the original PlayStation. Pretty cool. None of the programs on here are made by me. I haven't actually really got into programming with basic on here, but these are all the sample ones that come with it, but still pretty cool. Initially, this game or program shows up in PAL, but with the select button, I can actually switch it to NTSC, so I don't need that go-between disc. Okay, so it's in PAL right now, which is why it's scrolling. Now I'm in NTSC. So I got a programs, and there's all different programs in here that are the sample basic programs. This you probably can't read, but it tells you what buttons you're pressing on the controller. It lights up, lets you know. Okay, circles. Just makes circles. There is color here, but it's very awful. Colors. Those are actually in color. It depends on the software itself. It's a big part of it. I wonder if this is gonna make like a big picture. I've never actually let this run like all the way through. No, I don't think so. Right. Increase. Forget what that one is. Oh, every time I hit X, it just adds a number. Okay. That one has a red background, but it's fuzzy. Can't seem to get out of it now. It just keeps counting. It's the way they designed the program. You can't do the soft reset. That's funny. Alright. Nothing to do with the Overclock mod. It's just the way they wrote that program. Next one is Tony Hawk 1. Don't think I've tested this with the Overclock mod, so we'll see what happens. I know I've tested 2, and that works pretty much fine, just with slightly faded colors. That is in my stack here, too, so I can show you. It's actually the next one after. Nah, it didn't show the PlayStation logo. Does it something every now and again when you're using these unofficial like boot discs, but alright. See what happens with Tony Hawk 1. And assuming this works, I'm gonna actually play it for a little bit, because this game is epic. It's a classic. So barely any color, mostly black and white. Free skate. Got it on a memory card, so I'm only going to have access to one level without using cheats, but let's see how this plays out real quick. It's loading very quickly, which is nice. It's a little bit of color here, but faded. Oh, I got color in game, guys. That's cool. Audio's good. I think that skipping is my disc. A little scratched out and old. My disc is scratched, guys. that's enough of that one. Alright. Next is Tony Hawk 2. My personal all-time favorite Tony Hawk, like, ever. Alright. This one actually works fine. Colors are slightly faded, but it works really well other than that. This one doesn't seem to want to load. Hold on one second, guys. Cleaning off the disc a little bit. Okay, it looks like it's going now. I think the disc was just smudged. Because I did test this prior, and it does work fine. So we got faded colors, but that's fine. Kind of fading in and out, too. It's a little unstable. But on a free skate again. The loading time on this game is really good too, you'll see in a minute. Check this out. Watch the meter. It's pretty quick down the bottom. Assuming you can see it, but it's a lot faster than normal. Which is nice. Alright, and we're in the game. Too bad I didn't land it. So there is a little bit of stuttering with the audio, but I think that's the condition of the disc in this case. I didn't even want to boot on the first time. I have another copy of this game, which I probably should have grabbed that instead. Alright. That about wraps up that game. Alright. Huge fan of Tony Hawk, by the way, the games. Alright. Next one, Grand Theft Auto. This one does play fine, but it plays in black and white, but the loading times are really good. Thumbs up if you're actually still watching this. Lol. Loading time is really quick on this too, and we got color on the menus, but the actual game itself is black and white. This one does play fine, it's just in black and white, but I always hit the wrong button to go backwards. Trying to wreak havoc, but I haven't actually done anything yet, really. Nothing good. Hey, I ran somebody over. No fun stuff. Oh, now I got the pop top ring. Yay! Waffle sauce. Ah, busted. Anyways, next. Alright, for some reason we got Descent again, but I'm not gonna do that. Gran Turismo, I have not tried this one, so we're gonna find out together. cleaning all my discs because some of these are pretty beat up. Sorry, guys. Gran Turismo 2, I believe. Okay, so we got some color here. Erase. This disc is pretty beat up, so this isn't a very accurate description of the loading times and whatnot, but I don't even know if this is gonna work. Struggling to read it, I can tell. The disc is in pretty bad shape. Yeah. I think this one's a no-go, guys. Alright, next one. Alright. Sega Master System emulator for the original PlayStation. Now, this does not work well at all. Overclock mod or not. But I'll show you guys anyways. I actually haven't tried it on a stock one, but from videos that I've seen on YouTube from other people, it looks like the emulator doesn't run well on stock either. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because the sound emulation on this particular emulator is awful. You'll thank me, trust me. Put that in there. So, of all the games I've tried, the Master System games, those seem to play in black and white. This menu is actually in color, faded, and fuzzy. Looking for a classic. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Master System. Yeah, like I said, sound emulation is awful. Absolutely awful. This emulator just in general is just really bad. I don't know if there's maybe a newer version of it that runs a lot better that I'm not aware of. Yeah, it sounds awful. This is laggy. It's just not the best thing in the world, even on a stock one from what I've seen videos of. Next one I'm going to show you guys. Now, there was an official dev kit for the original PlayStation for amateur homebrewers. Because back in the day, Sony actually had a lot of support for that. And it was called the Net Yarozi. It was a black PlayStation. Didn't play burnt discs, but it played any region disc. And it also, using a special boot disc, let you play, let you basically stream games that you made to your computer, from your computer to the PlayStation through a special cable. But anyways, this is a compilation of Net Yarozi games made back in the day that have been converted to run on a regular retail system. There is one game in particular on here I want to show you guys because it's actually pretty neat and it's got a good, a cool little feature on it. I think that, you know, definitely is worth mentioning because this is a really cool game that's on here that I want to show you. Unfortunately, it is a racing game, but unfortunately there's only 2 tracks. I don't know if this game was ever finished, and I just have a very early version of it or what, but fire this up, and this game is in PAL, so I need my go-between disc here. Once I find it. Okay. So this one plays in color too, the specific game that I'm going to play. And the name of the game is F1 Racer. Honestly, if you have a modded console, go ahead and check it out. Whether it's overclocked or not, it doesn't matter. Just check it out. It runs fine on my overclocked one, other than some faded colors. So, should work no problem if yours is overclocked or it's stock. Either way. So there's a whole bunch of them here. The one I'm concerned with is F Racer. So that one's gonna load. Takes a minute. Sometimes my system locks up when loading it with the overclock mod. So, oh, now it's going. All right. So here's a really cool feature. See, that's in full color. A little bit fuzzy, but not bad. Let me go all the way over. There's something called CD music. Now, this entire homebrew game loads into RAM, meaning you can actually go ahead and take that Net Eurosy disc out now and put in a regular audio CD of your liking. So I'm going to put on some techno. Now, even though I'm using the swap method and everything, I can go ahead and release the button for the door sensor and go ahead and put in the music CD and then press the button back down and leave it because it doesn't matter because it'll automatically detect the music CD and it won't reject it. And this entire homebrew game, both tracks are loaded into RAM. So, of course, if I want to do anything else, I would have to reboot the console. But as far as this game goes, that's fine. So, disc is out. Whole thing's in RAM. So that's a really cool feature of this particular game that somebody made. Oops. Okay. Screwing with the door sensor. Hold on, guys. Alright. There we go. I have like literally a pen cap propping the door open. Alright. Okay, let's go. See, the whole thing's loaded into RAM. I didn't even have to wait for that. And I'm listening to my own music CD. The name of this band is Anti-Nami, by the way. Found them on mp3.com back in the day as an independent artist. I have no idea if they're still around, but if they are, awesome. And that was back when mp3.com was good, before the RIAA did their corporate takeover. Anyways. So this is a cool homebrew game that, it's in full 3D and everything. I'm installed up. And it runs really well with the Overclock mod, so it doesn't seem to have any hitches other than a little bit of fuzzy colors. But runs very smoothly, which is nice. Yeah, the physics in this game is a little weird, but CD that I'm listening to is old, so it's kind of scratched and whatnot. So that about sums up my testing. If you actually made it through this entire video without skipping through, that's amazing. This is an hour long. I don't expect any, but over an hour. But I don't expect anyone to make it through this entire thing without skipping through. But just wanted to kind of document how the Overclock mod affected things both positively and negatively. But my advice, if you're gonna try this, do so at your own risk. Obviously, it's very tricky to do. You can easily stuff up your PlayStation, although luckily they're a dime a dozen these days. But still, do so at your own risk, and you should probably install a Switch. All right. Till next time. That's about it.